comfort is quietly weakening you. Every time you choose the easy route, the familiar routine, the safe option, you are building a cage that feels like peace. It feels calm on the surface, but underneath it is limiting your growth. Real strength does not develop inside comfort. It is forged in pressure, in uncertainty, in the moments when everything inside you says quit, and you decide to continue anyway. For most of your life, you may have been running from discomfort, avoiding hard conversations because they might hurt, staying in situations that drain you because change feels risky, scrolling endlessly on your phone instead of sitting alone with your thoughts, using noise and distraction to escape emotions that feel too heavy. And each time you avoid what is uncomfortable, you send your brain a message that you are not strong enough to handle reality. But that message is a lie. You are stronger than every excuse you have ever made, tougher than every fear that has kept you awake at 3 in the morning, more capable than the doubts that whisper you are not enough. Seneca wrote that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. Your mind is like a muscle. It grows under tension. It adapts to resistance. Without challenge, it stays weak. That difficult conversation you keep postponing is not just a conversation. It is a training ground for courage. Your heart will race. Your voice might shake. Have it anyway. Courage is not waiting for fear to disappear. It is speaking while fear is still present. That workout that makes your muscles burn and your lungs beg for air is not just exercise. It is proof that you can endure discomfort and come out stronger. Science shows that controlled physical stress builds resilience in both body and mind. When you push through safely and consistently, you train your nervous system to handle challenge without panic. Discomfort is not a signal that you are breaking. Often it is a signal that you are upgrading. Do not interrupt the process. That project you are afraid to start because you might fail. Start it. If you fail, learn from it. Failure is information. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you have likely attempted. The difference is they treated failure as feedback, not as identity. Even small moments matter. Your phone buzzes, and you reach for it automatically. Pause. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Let boredom rise. Let your thoughts surface. That uncomfortable feeling is your brain craving easy stimulation. When you train yourself to tolerate silence, you strengthen focus and emotional control. That is freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not blocking your path. It is the path. The problem you are avoiding is the doorway to your next level. The challenge you keep escaping is exactly what will shape you into who you are meant to become. Stop treating discomfort like an enemy. It is your trainer, your teacher, your personal coach that never takes a day off. It reveals where you are weak and where you need to grow. Take cold showers in the morning. Your body will resist. Your mind will protest. Step in anyway. Breathe through the shock. You teach yourself before the day even begins that you can handle hard things. That builds mental toughness. Say no when people expect yes. Feel the guilt try to rise. Hold your boundary anyway. Protect your peace. Show yourself that your needs matter. That is growth. That is strength. That is self-respect in action. The life you want exists on the other side of discomfort. The stronger version of you is waiting there. Stop choosing easy. Stop choosing safe. Choose growth. Discomfort is temporary. Regret can last for years. Choose wisely. This is the mindset we cultivate together on Stoicism Breath. And now understand this. Nothing is wasted if you learn from it. Not your failures. Not your heartbreaks. Not your mistakes. Every experience you go through is either a lesson learned or a lesson repeated. The wise person does not avoid failure. They extract wisdom from it. You trusted the wrong person. You made a bad investment. You chose a path that did not work out. Now you sit and regret replaying every detail. But regret alone teaches nothing. Reflection does. Ask yourself, what did this experience reveal about me? What signs did I ignore? What skills do I need to build? What boundaries do I need to strengthen? When you ask better questions, you get better growth. Pain can either make you bitter or make you wiser. The difference is whether you choose to learn. Every setback contains information about how to move forward more intelligently next time. Your past is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof that you are brave enough to try. Extract the lesson. Adjust your strategy. Move forward stronger. This is how wisdom is built. Not in comfort, not in perfection, but in reflection, in courage, in choosing growth again and again. And that is the path forward on Stoicism Breath. That failure was not a waste unless you walk away without learning what it came to teach you. Epictetus reminded us that it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Every setback is neutral at first. It carries no built-in meaning. You decide whether it becomes proof that you are incapable or evidence that you are growing. Think about a relationship that ended. At the time, it may have felt like rejection or loss. But look deeper. It taught you what you will and will not accept. It showed you the difference between real respect and empty promises. It revealed your patterns, your boundaries, your emotional needs. Those lessons are priceless if you are willing to receive them. Consider a business that failed. It may have cost money, time, pride, but it also exposed blind spots. It forced you to learn skills you might have avoided. Financial planning, communication, resilience under pressure. Many successful entrepreneurs describe early failures as their most valuable education. Not because failure is pleasant, but because it is honest. A friendship that betrayed you can feel deeply painful, yet it teaches discernment. It sharpens your instincts. It reminds you that access to your inner circle is earned, not given freely. That pain purchases wisdom if you let it. Marcus Aurelius gave simple advice. If a cucumber is bitter, throw it out. If there are thorns in your path, go around them. Learn and adjust. Do not keep eating bitter cucumbers while complaining they are not sweet. The lesson is simple. When something does not work, change your approach. Most people repeat the same mistakes because they never pause to ask, what is this teaching me? They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They blame bad luck. But growth begins when you look in the mirror and ask, what can I do differently next time? Start a simple practice. Keep a wisdom journal. When something goes wrong, write down 3 things. What happened? What I learned. What I will do differently next time. This shifts you from being a victim of events to being a student of life. Everything becomes useful. Even pain becomes fuel. That argument with your partner. What did it reveal about your communication style? About your triggers? About the tone you use when you feel unheard? Extract the lesson. Improve. Become better. That missed opportunity. Did it reveal a lack of preparation? A hesitation to act? a fear of stepping forward. Learn from it. Prepare differently. Be ready when the next opportunity appears. That health scare. Was it your body signaling stress? Poor sleep? Neglected priorities? Research shows chronic stress weakens the immune system and increases risk of illness. Your body often whispers before it screams. Listen. Adjust. Honor what it is telling you. Wisdom is not about knowing everything in advance. It is about paying attention, about evolving, about refusing to make the same mistake twice. Your past does not define you, but what you learn from it absolutely shapes your future. Every scar carries a story. Make sure yours tell a story of growth. That is how wisdom is built on Stoicism Breath. Now understand this. Strength is built by mastering your responses. Nobody can make you angry. Nobody can steal your peace. Nobody can force you to react. People can say words. They can act carelessly. They can create uncomfortable situations. But your response belongs to you. That is your power. Yet many people give that power away without realizing it. Someone says something disrespectful, and the reaction is immediate. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and the entire morning is ruined. A post online triggers outrage, and hours are lost in anger. Each time you react without thinking, you hand control of your inner world to someone else. The truth is simple but powerful. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is your freedom. When you pause, even for a few seconds, you interrupt the automatic reaction. You choose who you want to be in that moment. Practice this. When anger rises, notice it in your body. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the tension in your shoulders. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself what response aligns with the person I want to become. Not what feels satisfying right now, but what serves my long-term character. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. Studies in emotional regulation show that mindful pauses reduce impulsive reactions and strengthen self-control. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Mastering your response does not mean suppressing emotion. It means guiding it. It means choosing dignity over impulse, clarity over chaos. In a chaotic world, the person who controls their response controls their life. That is real strength. That is freedom. And that is the discipline we continue to build together on Stoicism Breath. Every time you react without thinking, you hand over the remote control of your life. You allow external circumstances to dictate your internal state. Marcus Aurelius wrote that if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let that sink in. The event is not the true source of your suffering. The story you tell yourself about the event is. Imagine someone insults you at work. One story says, "This is a disaster. Everyone will think less of me. I need to defend myself right now." Feel how your body tightens under that narrative. Your jaw clenches. Your heart races. Anger rises. Now try another story. This person may be struggling. Their words reflect their state, not my worth. I do not need to join their chaos. Notice the difference. The situation has not changed. Your interpretation has. And with it, your emotional state. This is not about pretending you do not feel hurt or frustrated. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Emotions are signals, not commands. Between what happens and how you respond, there is a space. In that space lives your freedom. That space is small but powerful. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose our response. That is your kingdom. Rule it well. Life will not ask for your permission. Accidents happen. Markets crash. People disappoint you. But your response belongs to you. Practice the pause. When something triggers you, count to 3 before speaking. Wait 5 minutes before sending that angry text. Take 3 slow breaths. Studies in neuroscience show that even a brief pause allows the rational part of your brain to regain control over impulsive reactions. In that moment, you reclaim authority over yourself. A coworker takes credit for your work. You can explode and damage your reputation. Or you can calmly document what happened and address it professionally. The person who pauses wins. A partner says something that cuts deep. You can retaliate with equal force, or you can express your feelings without attacking. The person who pauses protects the relationship. Bad news arrives and panic floods your mind. You can spiral into worst-case scenarios or assess the facts and take the next logical step. The person who pauses finds the solution. Seneca wrote that a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials. Every trigger is training. Every difficult personality is a workout for your patience. Every frustrating situation is a gym for self-control. Stop wishing for a life without friction. The friction is shaping you into someone steady and unbreakable. Mastering your responses does not make you passive. It makes you powerful. It means you are no longer a puppet controlled by other people's moods or random events. You become the steady force in your own life. That is true strength. That is the discipline we practice on Stoicism Breath. Now consider this. Many people move through life on autopilot. They rush from one task to the next. They collapse at night exhausted yet strangely unfulfilled. Calmness does not come from doing less. It comes from living intentionally. The ancient Stoics did not just talk about philosophy. They practiced daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, even while leading an empire, wrote in his journal each evening. He examined his actions. He questioned his choices. He reminded himself each morning that it is a privilege to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love. Gratitude grounded him in the middle of chaos. You do not need to be an emperor to benefit from reflection. You need it because you are human. Without reflection, you repeat the same patterns. You react instead of choosing. You drift instead of directing. Create a simple practice. 5 minutes in the morning. 5 minutes at night. In the morning, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What challenges might I face, and how will I respond? What is one action that aligns with my values? At night, ask, what did I do well? Where did I fall short? What will I improve tomorrow? This small ritual builds awareness. Awareness builds intention. Intention builds character. Over time, you become calmer not because life is easier, but because you are clearer. You know who you are becoming. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. It turns chaos into clarity. It keeps you aligned with your values instead of being swept away by circumstances. This is how you cultivate steady calm in a restless world. And this is the path forward on Stoicism Breath.